Listen, if a woman is secretly obsessed with you, she'll never say it. She'll hide it behind casual smiles, random conversations, or those little moments where her voice softens for no reason at all. But here's the truth, almost no one tells men. Women don't reveal obsession through big, dramatic actions. They reveal it through tiny psychological slips they can't control. And once you know how to recognize them, you'll see things she hoped you'd never notice. Because the first hidden sign she's obsessed with you begins long before she ever texts you, touches you, or admits anything. It starts the moment she realizes you're different from other men, the moment she realizes you can affect her emotions. That's when the obsession begins. Not because you tried to impress her, but because something about you shook her sense of control. And when a woman feels that emotional pull, she starts doing things even she doesn't understand. Like the way she lingers when she talks to you. Not obviously, not in a way anyone else would notice, but she gives you those extra few seconds after the conversation should have ended. Her body faces you even if her words say she's leaving. Her eyes flick back at you even when she's pretending not to care. This isn't attraction. Attraction is simple. Obsession is when she can't walk away cleanly. She feels like she has to come back, even if she pretends it's accidental. But here's something deeper. Women obsessed with a man become hyper-aware of everything he does. She notices your tone, she notices the way you stand, she notices your silence, especially your silence. She tracks your emotional shifts like her brain is scanning for danger. Why? Because obsession is rooted in fear. Fear of losing you, fear of misreading you, fear that another woman might see what she sees in you. And even though she tries to hide it, her fear leaks out through her body language. One of the strongest signs is subtle jealousy she tries to disguise as jokes, curiosity, or harmless questions. She'll ask about that girl you spoke to, but with a tone that sounds almost accidental. She'll pretend she's just curious, but the truth is she's measuring her competition. A woman who is obsessed doesn't want to fall behind, doesn't want to feel replaceable. She wants reassurance, but she can't directly ask for it, because asking would expose her feelings. Another hidden sign is how she reacts when you give attention to another woman. She won't explode, she won't show hatred, but her mood will shift, her energy will drop. She gets quieter, she becomes colder in small, almost invisible ways. Not because she's mad at you, but because it scares her how much power you have over her emotions. And obsession always comes with that loss of control. She hates the way her chest tightens when she pictures you with someone else. She hates the way her mind creates scenarios she can't shut down. But here's the deepest psychological truth. When a woman is secretly obsessed, she gives you access to parts of herself she never gives anyone else. You'll see her softer. You'll see her nervous. You'll see her feminine side come out in ways she doesn't even notice she's showing. Her voice becomes warmer. She fidgets with her hands. She plays with her hair in mid-sentence. And every one of these behaviors is her mind trying to soothe the anxiety you activate inside her. She didn't choose this. Obsession isn't voluntary. It's emotional gravity. And if she's showing these signs, she's already far more invested in you than she'll ever admit. There's a reason she can't stop thinking about you, even when she's surrounded by friends, work, or distractions. It's not because she's bored, it's because her mind has become a trap and you're at the center of it. When a woman is secretly obsessed, her thoughts about you creep into every part of her day. She'll replay small moments in her head, the way you laughed at something insignificant, the way you looked when you didn't notice her. And here's the critical part. She doesn't just notice these moments, she stores them. She analyzes them, rewrites them, imagines them again and again. Your influence over her becomes a mental loop she can't break. And the signs of this mental preoccupation are subtle, but unmistakable if you know what to look for. She texts you at odd times, not with purpose, not with urgency, but because her mind insists she reach out. Sometimes it's a one-word message, sometimes it's something vague, but it's always intentional on a subconscious level. She wants to be in your world, to remind herself you exist, to feel the thrill of your response. You might call it casual texting. I call it emotional tethering, her mind trying to hold on without admitting why. Another hidden signal is how she mirrors you. The way she laughs when you laugh, the gestures she subconsciously copies, the way she adopts phrases or ideas you've shared. It's instinctive mimicry, rooted in desire and attachment. When a woman obsesses over a man, her brain literally aligns with his behaviors, trying to create invisible synchronization. It's her way of signaling, without words, that she's connected to you. And the more subtle the mimicry, the stronger the obsession. It's not about showing off. It's about feeling entwined. You'll notice she remembers things that seem trivial, but are emotionally loaded. The brand of coffee you like, the song you mentioned months ago, that obscure detail about a hobby. While most people forget, she files these away, consciously or unconsciously. Her obsession makes every tiny detail about you matter. Every interaction becomes data her mind studies. And the danger for her is that this obsession consumes her more than she realizes. She begins to live in a reality where you dominate her thoughts, even when she tells herself she doesn't care. Physical proximity becomes another unconscious tool. She will find excuses to be near you, even if it's just crossing paths in hallways, standing slightly closer than necessary, or adjusting her schedule to bump into you. She doesn't consciously plan this most of the time. Her mind pushes her toward you, like gravity, because obsession demands presence, and every time you notice, you feel it. She wants to be noticed, but she also fears exposing herself too much. That's the paradox, wanting attention, but fearing vulnerability at the same time. Even her social interactions shift. Friends notice her subtle changes in demeanor. She might laugh less with others when you're not around. She may seem distracted, her attention slipping. These are signs she's emotionally preoccupied. And if you dig a little deeper, you'll see she's not just interested. She's calculating. Every interaction, every word, every glance is filtered through the lens of how it affects you or how it affects her hold on you. Obsession drives her to measure, assess, and analyze everything, even unconsciously. The most dangerous part for you, if you don't recognize it, is that she can manipulate emotions without trying. She'll swing from warmth to coldness in subtle ways, not out of malice, but because her mind can't handle the intensity of her own obsession. You feel the push and pull, and it's intoxicating because it taps into your own emotional patterns. She's creating a web, and you might not even realize she's the architect. Here's the part most men miss. When a woman is obsessed, her obsession isn't just about desire, it's about fear. Fear of losing you, fear of missing out, fear of seeing someone else in your world. And fear is far more powerful than attraction. It drives behavior she can't fully control. She becomes both magnetic and unpredictable. You'll notice it in small emotional shifts, sudden warmth that melts into distance, smiles that flicker with uncertainty, or laughter that seems forced but hides a deeper intensity. These aren't mistakes. They're her brain wrestling with the fact that her feelings have become uncontrollable. One hidden psychological sign is the emotional roller coaster she puts herself on around you. Sometimes she's sweet, attentive, and playful. Other times, she's cold, detached, or subtly provocative. This isn't to manipulate you in a conscious way. It's the natural oscillation of obsession. Her mind is attempting to balance desire with anxiety, attachment with fear. And the more she obsesses, the more extreme these swings can become. You'll notice patterns, small triggers that make her shift, like a casual glance at another man or the way you laugh at someone else's joke. Her obsession amplifies her sensitivity, making even minor events feel monumental. Another hidden sign is her vulnerability. She might share thoughts, fears, or personal details with you that she never shares with anyone else. This is not casual trust. This is subconscious investment. Obsession makes her need your validation, your reactions, and your presence. She wants reassurance without admitting she does, so she tests boundaries subtly, slips a question into conversation, lingers on certain topics, or teases her own emotions in a way only you would notice. And if you respond correctly, even slightly, she feels relief, like a weight lifted, but it doesn't stop the obsession, it strengthens it. Her body language will betray her even when she tries to hide it. You might notice micro-expressions, tiny smiles that vanish when she thinks you're not looking, subtle touches of her hair or face, or moments where she unconsciously leans toward you. She might mirror your movements without realizing it, adjusting her posture when you do, matching your pace in walking, or syncing small gestures with yours. This is instinct, not performance. Her subconscious is trying to communicate connection, while her conscious mind insists she's indifferent. Obsessed women also pay attention to your emotional state more than you realize. She notices when your energy drops, when you seem stressed, or when you're unusually quiet. She absorbs your moods, reacts subtly, and sometimes even internalizes your tension. Her obsession is a constant radar scanning for changes in your world because emotionally, she's tethered to your presence. She wants to understand you fully, not just superficially. And because she cannot control the depth of her feelings, she often oscillates between anxiety and euphoria, leaving her unpredictable but always focused on you. Finally, she invests in imagining your life together, even silently in her mind. It doesn't matter if you've never spoken about commitment, future plans, or serious intentions. Obsession forces her brain to simulate scenarios with you at the center. She dreams about conversations you haven't had, experiences you haven't shared, and moments she might not dare suggest. These daydreams aren't casual fantasies. They're her mind practicing attachment, preparing for a reality she secretly craves but may never admit aloud. And every thought, every imagined moment, subtly shapes how she behaves around you, the questions she asks, and the energy she radiates. At this stage, her obsession has become invisible gravity. She doesn't need to tell anyone, and you may not even consciously notice it at first, but it's there, affecting her mood, her attention, and her decisions. Understanding this is crucial because once you recognize the depth of a woman's obsession, you can respond wisely, without falling into traps of false reassurance or emotional games. It's powerful knowledge. She wants more than attention. She wants connection, control, and emotional resonance, whether she admits it or not. Now let's talk about the behaviors that give her away, the little things she can't help doing when she's obsessed. These are the invisible signals most men completely miss because they look ordinary, casual, or coincidental. But they are powerful, psychological footprints of her mind. Obsession always leaves a trail. You just need to know where to look. One of the most telling signs is her constant but subtle monitoring of your world. Social media becomes her radar. She checks your stories, notices changes in your photos, reads your comments, and studies the way you interact with others. She won't make it obvious. Sometimes she even pretends disinterest, but her brain is wired to track your life. Every post, every picture, every little update becomes a piece of data in her mental map of you. And here's the kicker. She often reacts before she even realizes she's reacting, through mood shifts, slight changes in tone, or almost imperceptible touches to herself when she sees something that stirs her emotions. Another behavioral trigger is her insistence on shared experiences, even if they seem minor. She wants to participate in your life, not just observe it. She might suggest doing something she knows you like, mention a movie you enjoy, or even casually reference a book or hobby she knows matters to you. She's aligning her world with yours without you consciously asking. Why? Because obsession makes her want to be intertwined with every detail of your life. The more aligned she becomes, the more invisible emotional hook she creates, drawing herself closer while maintaining a mask of casual interest. Her attention to subtle communication is another signal. She notices pauses in your speech, shifts in your gaze, even the way you breathe when you're stressed or relaxed. She reacts without realizing it, matching your energy or creating moments of emotional resonance. It's not conscious manipulation, it's instinctive tuning. Obsession rewires her attention, making her hyper-aware of your presence, your voice, and your unspoken cues. And even when she seems calm, she's silently calculating how to maintain your focus and engagement. Physical behaviors also reveal her mind. Small touches, brief brushes against your arm, or lingering hand movements are classic indicators. But obsession often makes her nervous in ways she tries to disguise. Fidgeting, twirling hair, or adjusting clothing. These micro movements are not vanity. They are her body language expressing subconscious desire and emotional investment. The closer she can physically get, the more her brain feels a sense of safety and emotional closeness, even if she pretends these gestures are accidental. One of the most overlooked signs is her reaction to your absence. She'll comment on your disappearance lightly, ask where you've been, or subtly check in. But obsession creates an emotional vacuum when you're gone. She may seem distracted, quiet, or even irritable. Her brain is wired to notice your presence as a baseline. When it's missing, she experiences subtle withdrawal symptoms. This is not mere interest. It's emotional dependency triggered by obsession. And it often drives her to seek reassurance, proximity, or communication without ever admitting why. Even her voice changes around you. It softens, fluctuates, or takes on a melodic quality when she wants to connect emotionally. She may laugh a little louder, whisper slightly, or adjust the pitch unconsciously. This is her subconscious signaling attention, attraction, and emotional engagement, all indicators of obsession. You might dismiss it as casual charm, but it's a physiological response she cannot fully control. And the more she obsesses, the stronger these signs become. At this stage, she is trapped in a mental and emotional loop where you occupy center stage. Every action, every thought, every behavior revolves, knowingly or unknowingly, around you. Recognizing these behaviors is crucial. They are her invisible fingerprints, proof that her mind is captivated by you even if her words insist otherwise. And when you understand them, you hold the key to seeing through the subtle hidden patterns of female obsession. By now, you've started to notice the patterns, the small slips, the subtle behaviors, the emotional signals she can't fully hide. But there's one final layer, the emotional and mental footprints she leaves, often without realizing it. This is where obsession becomes undeniable, and if you understand it, you'll see the truth she hoped would stay secret. First, her emotional reactions are amplified. Small gestures from you, a smile, a compliment, even a casual glance, create disproportionately large responses in her mind. She may smile wider, her heart rate shifts, or her attention becomes laser-focused. It's instinctive. Her brain can't help but amplify these moments because obsession heightens emotional sensitivity, and she often hides this behind casual phrases, joking, or teasing. But make no mistake, these subtle overreactions are her mind's way of signaling attachment, excitement, and intense focus on you. Another indicator is how she subtly seeks your validation. She may ask questions disguised as curiosity. Do you like this? Or, what do you think about that? On the surface, these questions appear harmless, even casual. But obsession drives her to measure your reactions, because your approval becomes a psychological anchor. It reassures her, calms her anxiety, and strengthens her emotional connection. The more obsessed she is, the more she unconsciously or consciously seeks this reinforcement, creating a loop that ties her emotional state directly to your responses. Her mental preoccupation will also spill into her social environment. Friends, co-workers, even strangers may notice subtle changes in her behavior when you're around or when your name comes up. She may defend you instinctively, even without being prompted. She may reference you frequently, create stories or anecdotes involving you, or adjust her behavior to mirror the moments she associates with you. Obsession reshapes her social energy, and even if she claims indifference, her subconscious has already made you central to her emotional world. You'll also notice her curiosity is selective. She doesn't just ask about general topics, she focuses on your world, your routines, your moods, and the people you interact with. Obsession fine-tunes attention, making her want to know the intimate details of your life while keeping her own emotions guarded. She's constantly analyzing, imagining outcomes, and rehearsing scenarios in her mind. And the intensity is rarely visible to others. It's an internal pattern that shapes her subtle behaviors, her energy, and even the way she communicates with you. Then there's her capacity for emotional resonance. When you're upset, even slightly, she responds with a depth of empathy and attentiveness that seems almost unnatural. Her mind is wired to absorb your emotional state, because obsession makes her attuned to your feelings at every level. She doesn't need to consciously try, it's automatic. And the stronger her obsession, the more she feels the highs and lows of your emotional shifts as if they were her own. This creates an invisible bond she may deny exists, but you can sense it in her reactions, timing, and presence. Finally, obsession always leaves a trail of intentional and unintentional signals combined. Texts, micro-expressions, emotional cues, social behaviors, and even mental preoccupation converge to form a hidden map of her attachment. When you recognize these patterns, you're no longer guessing. You see the truth she hoped would remain invisible. And understanding this is powerful because it gives you clarity, perspective, and insight into the female mind, knowledge few men ever access. Now, here's the question I want you to answer. If a woman notices your absence, mirrors your behavior, and consistently seeks subtle emotional validation, how would you quantify her obsession? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Be honest with yourself. Like this video if it opened your eyes, subscribe for more life-changing insights, share it with a friend who needs to hear this tonight.